Little bottles, little bottles.
Right? How
Little
y'all
bottles,
doing?
little bottles. What do you drink when you're on the road? I know. I bet. What time did you land today?
2:30-ish.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was a 12:09 flight out, and then arrived by, I think it was 2:30-ish. And then by the time, of course, get the bag and all the things and get out here, I got checked in, and I'm at a resort. So I'm in Vegas.
Yeah.
The conference. I found out pre-registration today, so yes, I don't have to register at all hours because my first meeting starts at 7 a.m. tomorrow. And so I get to register today, so I don't have to worry about pre-registration, all that tomorrow morning before a meeting and what have you. Get the lay of the land. So that's kind of cool. And it's a half mile from where I'm at. So I'm at my timeshare, Wyndham Grand Desert in Vegas, and the event is going to be at the Planet Hollywood. So I was like going, you know what? Yeah, I could stay there, but I can also stay here. And I ended up with a 2-bedroom deluxe. It's got a jacuzzi tub, and I have a gorgeous view of the strip right here, the Sphere, all the things. So this is like, you know what, a full kitchen. So I can make breakfast here if I need to, coffee maker, nice and comfortable. And I don't have to go through a casino to get to my room. So that's where I'm at. So I landed today. I got all checked in and everything. And of course, they're like, oh, there's margaritas, blah, blah, blah today. And I'm like, I got to check in, get all my stuff out and get ready for the podcast. And then I'm like, wait, margaritas. So I went downstairs and picked up a margarita. Now, being in Vegas, I had been, the last time I was in Vegas, I did pick up something. But I will start with, before we could, now you cannot bring booze on airplanes, but before I used to carry these little guys, and I had these in here, and I said, oh, I got to bring them because, got to bring them. So this one is Burnside, Oregon bourbon, and this one's Wheatley vodka. This one is from Frankfort, Kentucky. So these were two that I had picked up whenever I picked them up, and I put them in a little koozie to help protect them. Now, one thing that I usually do, and I grabbed another one, it's around here somewhere. It says, alcohol's the answer. I forgot what the question was. So I little koozies, because you'll either have beer or cocktail, whatever it is, by the pool. And when it's hot weather, these really are very, very helpful. So these go flat. So these are great. This is from Dirty Dash. So hence a little pig. So these are wonderful. They're flat. They weigh nothing. So these are great to either throw in your suitcase or your carry-on. If you're going to be by the pool, this is great to have. And then, of course, this is plastic, which is also easy to travel with, but you're not supposed to open these in airplanes anymore. So just carry them for your things, but not for airplanes. So this is what I normally do. But when I come to Vegas, the first stop, there is a liquor store at the airport, in case y'all didn't know. And the last time that I was here, I got to taste the Vegas Baby. Yeah. So I ended up picking up Vegas Baby to make sure that I threw it in the freezer to chill it. I didn't have time to go out and buy any mixers for it, so that's going to be on its own. But being that I'm at a resort, today they had margaritas. So they were in these little cups with salt, and I put them in a pretty cup. Yeah. I also have a lime that I brought with me. So I'm going to add a little bit more lime to it to give it a little something, something to make it feel more like a margarita. When you see garnish in the drink, it's always a lot more fun. Mm-hmm. You can kind of sort of somewhat, you can't see it. It's over here, it's hiding. It's because I'm spinning it. There it is. There it is. So that's what it's with the cocktail. The Portland airport does have one place that has $6 mimosas. So got to stop there. If there's plenty of time, stop and get a mimosa before going on a trip. And the last trip that I made, this one lady ended up picking up my cocktail that day. And the bartender said that she actually does that. Whenever she's at that place, she will pick one or two people and pick up their cocktails and just like takes off. And I have done that once for a bachelorette, young ladies. It was like 4 young ladies. They were, being very particular, just very, very young, um, just sweet young ladies. And
Mhm.
no, they were just down to earth, sweet young ladies. This was in Tennessee last year. And I'm like, you know what? I told the bartender I'll pick up their tab, and then just signed off and took off. And so I thought, you know what? They're about to go on their bachelorette little outing. Let's start it fun for them and give them a little something, something, young
Something,
ladies.
something there. Get the party started.
Right, right. Now, do you pack snacks when you travel?
I don't pack snacks. I don't pack hardly anything when I travel.
Really?
Yeah, I buy on the go.
Okay. Well, see, I'm a little particular because I'm sometimes running from one thing to the next. So what I normally do is that little Ziplocs with
Mhm.
my pretzels and nuts, things of that nature. The other thing that I do, baby carrots, because those travel
Those are
very,
health food.
yeah, so something healthy. And then sometimes I will, if I have chips or
Mhm.
if I have strawberries or berries because they bruise easily,
Yeah,
in this case, grapes,
yeah, yeah,
plastic containers, because these don't weigh that much
yeah.
and they're easy to pack. So this is what I do.
It'll
Um,
keep the fruit from bouncing around as much. Yeah.
yep, yep. So that's protective. And then I also, since I was doggy sitting Murray while Mama was away, she gave me this trail mix from Tennessee, and it's got the raisins. I
Hmm.
thought this was so cute. It's got the goldfish in there.
Yeah.
Of course, it's got pretzels, and then some nuts. And then, of course, I had to add more of my pretzels because I love pretzel sticks. Apples are also pretty hardy to travel, so I will travel with apples because they're strong. They're going to hold. And then so I put them all on my little plate because I'm here. But normally I'm eating out of, if I'm on the plane or at an airport, I'm eating out of my baggies. Sometimes I'll also pack cheese. So when we were in, it was not Barcelona. It was a Spain stop that I do remember, but it was not Barcelona. Um, because everything closed by the time we got there because they were in between lunch and dinner. I ended up picking up some cheese, some bread, some salami, some beer at the little local mart, and we found a little spot. And I'm like, here you go. Here's because I always carry napkins because that's what I do. And so I gave everybody napkins, and I said, and I put out a spread, and I'm like, eat. So we all, dug in, and we had our charcuterie board that it was a makeshift charcuterie board. So anything like that is always easy to eat, easy to carry. It's gonna hold. It's not gonna make a mess, and that's what I look for when I'm traveling is something that's easy to carry. I can throw it in my backpack and it's not going to make a mess. I'm not going to have to worry about it spilling, dripping, oozing, or making a mess of my backpack because the backpack is also where I have my laptop. So cannot be messing around with the laptop.
No.
So
So no, when I travel, there's one of two ways I do it. All right. If I find a local liquor store, like I'm going to be at something for a couple of days, I find a local liquor store. Most of the time, I'm getting these little bottles, and I happen to have some Jack here, which is Jack is almost always one I grab because it's usually if I can't find something that's really unique. Jack and Jim have they're single they're
yeah,
single barrel select type stuff. I can drink while I'm on the road, but if I know I'm going to be there, there is one thing that I will buy, even though I will probably end up having to leave half the bottle there.
and what's that besides your
If I
Dr.
find
Pepper?
some Climax Moonshine, if I find a liquor store that says Climax Moonshine, I will buy it. And if I don't finish it, I'll leave half the bottle there. To me, it's like, I'll do it.
Yeah, there's plenty of times that I have left liquor behind.
Yeah.
The last time I was here in Vegas, I ended up buying a big bottle of vodka.
Mm-hmm.
Tito's. I know you hate Tito's, but that's what was on sale, and the big bottle was cheaper than the little bottle, so I ended up going with the big bottle, and I didn't buy anything else because I'm like I'm only here so many days, and I know I'm not going to finish this, but vodka is just an easy liquor to buy that I can do so much with it.
Uh-huh.
And so I knew it was like because I was there 4 days, 5 days, however many days. Well, I was chatting with other people from the conference, and there were some people that were going to stay there for another two or 3 days. And I'm like, oh, and they're like, vodka. I said, I'll give you my bottle of vodka. So I gave them the bottle, which was still like halfway or something. And they were like, what, you don't want it? I said, I leave tomorrow, first thing in the morning. I'm not going to finish this today. That's way too much vodka. Even if I have one more drink, that's all I'm going to have.
Yeah.
I'll rather give it to you because otherwise it's going to stay in the room. Either the cleaning folks are going to throw it away or they're going to keep it, which is fine. I don't care. But you like it. So here, you have it. So I gave it
enjoy
away.
it. Yeah. If you're in town, yeah.
And when I was coming back from Tennessee, because I had packed everything, I got to the airport and I'm like, I had like 3 beers and something else. And I'm going, that's not going to get through security. So I found a group that were arriving. I said, are you all arriving? It's like, yeah. I said, welcome. I go, do you drink? They're like, well, yeah. And I said, welcome to Tennessee. Gave them the bag. They're like, what's this? I said, you're welcome to Tennessee. And they look at it. They're like, you don't want this? I said, I'm about to go through TSA.
I get on a plane, I can't take it with me. Yeah.
It's going to get tossed. I would rather you have it and give you the welcome. Yeah. They're sweet. I mean, they thought it was the coolest thing in the world. So I was like, you know what? Give it to those that are going to enjoy. But yeah, there's plenty of times that I leave liquor behind. But it's still cheaper than to buy cocktail by cocktail. Now, being in Vegas, you can get some free cocktails, but at the same time, you're also dropping money at the slots if that's what you're doing.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're paying for the cocktail.
But like, I hardly ever travel to go to slots anyway. I'm going to conferences. Well, I haven't gone to them in 2 years. When I travel, and you go to conferences, and basically, if I'm drinking, I'm spending time with somebody at the bar, right? And I remember a couple of years back. I don't know if you remember Marcus. Do you remember Marcus Slayton?
Yeah.
So Marcus Slayton and I were at a party at an event, and he had he was making mules. He had the vodka, all right. He had the ginger beer, all right. He had some lime juice. He had all that stuff tucked in a bag. So I go get a cup of ice and bring back. Okay. Not bothering to like do a circle to see if I was being followed, and got caught by the staff of the hotel mixing a drink behind the table. Yeah.
Shame on you. Come on.
So I stopped doing it. I went, you know what? It's a business event, and if I can't afford to pay for a drink, I really don't belong drinking that much on a trip, because I don't drink that much. But I said, the one I'll get, because I'll sip on for 3 days. I will sip on this, or I'll sip on a Jack Daniels for 3 days. Right. And I'm not talking like, I know people who have the bottle there and they're no. I'll put it in a cup like this.
Right.
And I'll be sipping on it, the whole event. If I go to the bar and I'm really not into anything they have there, all right, I have a go-to beer. Go-to beer everywhere I go.
Right, because you can find it.
You could find it at almost any. It's like Tito's vodka. You can find it in almost any bar has it, right?
Right.
I mean, but it is cool sometimes to find what the local brew is, right?
Yes.
And try
yes. I mean, I remember going to Tennessee, and one of the ladies was going to go out to get something from the store, and I said, "Oh, can I go with you, and we can stop by the liquor store?" Yeah. Because Tennessee, of course, is a controlled state, and so you have to go to liquor store. And so I'm like looking for local Tennessee whiskey. And I'm like, where the heck is it? And so I asked, and they're like, oh, it's down this aisle. And I'm like, how did I miss it? I went down that aisle twice. Well, it was all Jack Daniels. And I came back around and I'm like, no, I can't get Jack Daniels at home. I did not come all the way to Tennessee from the West Coast.
Jack Daniels.
I can get that at home. I said, I want the local stuff. They're like, oh, so they had this little kiosk. I'm like, really? It's like, okay. So I picked something to have, but I was like, oh my goodness. And that time, because it was multiple of us, I asked them what they like to drink. So I ended up with, I think, 4 bottles that I got. And of course, most of it stayed. I think I was able to get one of them and wrap it up and put it in my bag. So I think I did take one back, but the other ones just kind of stayed behind. And I was like, if anybody wants it, I go, you can take it. But yeah, that was like, I want to drink what's local. And so that's why I picked up Vegas Baby. So this started in 2019 by two ladies.
Yeah.
They're being a little disruptive because they see Vegas as a boys' town, and it's most everything that's done is predominantly done by men, and in the gaming and the hospitality industry, and we talked about that in the spirits industry when we were talking about Women's History Month, and the women that have been disruptors in the industry. Well, these two ladies, they were the two here in Vegas that were the disruptors, and it was Jennifer Higgins. She was visiting her daughter out in Austin and was seeing all the local things, and she says, "Well, we don't have that in Vegas. There are not a whole lot of family-owned or small business-owned businesses that are in that industry. Usually you can't find it." I was going to say,
it's a commercial or type owned product.
Yeah, and they wanted, and so she went to her friend Megan Wilkes, and they were both very passionate about creating something that was high quality, and so they were trying to figure out how to do something, and so they figured that was a demand. It was local and independent businesses. That's what they saw, that, hey, let's tap into that industry, but we want a great product. We want anybody, but mainly women, to be able to sip and have a delicious cocktail, whether it's at the pool or at the bar. And so they created Vegas Baby Vodka. Mind you, 2019, right before COVID. But they still, move forward. During COVID, they did do a lot of virtual tastings, through Instagram and what have you. And one of the things that Megan was talking about that she did, which I've done live, where I have made a mess, where when I'm shaking something, the top came off and just made this mess of well, she did the same thing, and she was devastated because she was like trying to make this, but she laughed at it and thought it was the funniest thing. And I'm going, I think we've all done that. So it was kind of cool. But these ladies are really disruptors in the industry, and they are partnering with other women. So they are truly trying to say women supporting women. So this would have been a fun one to have done, during Women's History, but I'm in Vegas, so got to do it now. And this, you can make cocktails from it. I mean, a Vegas Baby Martini is baby vodka, olive juice, and then olives. Or a Vegas Baby Lucky Lemonade is the vodka, lemon juice, simple syrup, fresh mint. Shake it all about, do the hokey pokey, and then when you pour it, then you finish it off with Sprite. Personally, I would finish it off with either with soda water, because I don't need the sugar, and I don't drink soda.
See, I would do it with the grapefruit juice and some ginger beer.
Oh, ginger beer, that would be very yummy. Yeah. So
because you can almost always find ginger beer at a local store on the road.
Yeah, very true. So I'm going to keep it super simple. I'm going to drink it like that. I do have a little bit of ice, but I also have because I brought lime, so I have lime wedges. So I'm going to keep it super simple.
I'm just going to have a beer while you do that.
Because I also have my strawberry margarita here. But yeah, I will have, depending on time of flight, I might also have a Bloody Mary at the airport. I know they're a little bit pricier, but
yeah, I usually, when I fly, if I fly mornings, I want a Bloody Mary at the airport.
Right.
If I fly evenings, I usually have martini at the airport.
Okay. Yeah.
That's my two different that I would do. But I've done a few whiskeys in the evening at the airport, bourbons and whiskeys. Okay. And a lot of time bourbons and whiskeys, because I like my bourbons and whiskeys neat. And a lot of them, you know what I mean? They only have the general stuff at a lot of airports. It's trying to find the specialties is tough.
Right. Let's see if I can get a picture here with the stuff, because Vegas Baby.
But speaking of virtual tastings, all right, we're going to do a pitch for next week. Next week, we actually have Alex Shaw from Whiskey Weight Loss is going to come on and do a whiskey tasting with us. All right. He's He's actually shipped the vodka or shipped the whiskeys to Gladys, as well as gotten me mine. And we are going to have them next week. So you ever thought about whiskey weight loss? Alex is going to do a tasting, and I'm sure he'll tell us about whiskey weight loss a little bit. All right. Interesting one that we found. He's a friend of mine here from the Dallas area, and an Australian. So he's going to have an little Aussie accent. So
I love it. Gotta love it. Yep.
Yeah. But we made a show today, guys, about being on the road, and you got to travel. What do you have to drink? What do you have to eat? You know?
Yeah. So today, I will say, I will tell you one of the travels that I did when I went to South America. I ended up getting this gorgeous salad on the flight from LAX to Chicago. Or Chicago. No, I picked it up in Chicago. So I was going from Chicago down to South America. And so got to a spot and I was like I got hungry. So I pulled out my salad. And then somebody said, well, you must be VIP. And I was like, well, what do you mean? It's like, well, you got your food first. And I said, oh, I bought this at the airport.
I brought mine with, yeah.
I brought it with me. And everybody was jealous because they got their food and they still thought mine was better. But
no. You weren't VIP. You were DIY. Do it yourself.
Yep. I knew what I wanted. I will do that. Well, I will put something on the plane, and I do try to get something that is not stinky. Because I don't want to stink up the plane because everybody's going to smell it.
Yeah. You don't want to, but really, if I'm eating a meal on a plane, I'm going to try to eat something more healthy. But let's be truthful. When I'm traveling, I don't eat healthy food. I eat shitty ass junk food. All right. I'm having wings, man. I'm having ribs. I'm having a badass burger. I'm having a kick-ass steak, right? That's what I'm eating when I'm on the road. All right. A bowl of freaking pretzels and chips.
And I did grab a burger at Burgerville at the airport. Mm-hmm. I was looking at sushi, which looked beautiful. And I was like, I don't know. I love sushi and it's easy to eat, but at the same time, I thought I don't want any fishy smell on the plane. And a burger, once you've eaten it, the smell dissipates, and it usually can contain. It's not like a strong smell. So I went with the burger, no fries. I had my Gatorade, and that's
wait, did you eat it at the airport or on the plane?
On the plane.
See, I won't take anything that's warm on the plane. So like a burger's been warmed, all right. I'll eat like a what do they call them? Like a lunch meat type sandwich, like a club, a lightweight club sandwich or something, a wrap, right?
Yeah.
I would never take a burger on the plane because of the fact that it's been warmed, all right, and I don't know when I'm going to be able to pull it out and eat it.
Well, the funny thing is that I bought it at the time I got it. I'm like, okay, I'll probably eat at about this time.
Yeah.
And I knew that it would hold. Mind you, I have eaten at Burgerville right before I get on the plane because I have enough time. This time I was like, I could eat it, but I was like, no, I'll wait because it was a 12:09 flight. So I'm like, okay, well, we're still waiting and we're waiting. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to eat it now. So before we took off, I actually finished that darn burger as we're starting to pull away. And I was starving. I needed to eat and it could have held. And depending on what you're eating, it may or may not hold. So that's the other thing to be cognizant about. Will it hold? Hence why these type of things.
Yeah. So Friday, I was going to jump a flight real quick and go out to Craig's for the day. He had an event down there. Who was our guest a couple weeks ago, guys? He had an event down in LA, and I couldn't make the whole 3 days, but I was going to go down for Friday. So Friday morning, I get up and go to the airport. All right, early. Well, not really that early. I think I got to the airport like 8:00, and weather hit. So basically, I'm sitting there for weather, and I'm eating in the airport because I'm like the same thing. I was gonna buy a sandwich, and it was a wrap I got from what is the news.
Oh, I was going to say
kiosk. That's a news one, right?
Like a Hudson's.
Yeah, it's owned by Hudson's. It was a kiosk for food kiosk, but it was owned by Hudson's type deal. And yeah, that wrap never because I ended up coming back home and not flying out, right? Oh. And so I ended up eating that. Like, it was the most expensive sandwich I've had. To drive to the airport, all right, to go in through TSA, to sit in there and wait through 2 flights, all right, have a sandwich. I should have just went to the damn bar got
I
me a
got
good
some
drink at the bar, and had me a good meal at the bar, and then left and went back home. But I didn't. Probably my most expensive meal of the day. That was because
Wow.
yeah, you know what? You're buying a sandwich at the airport that, you know what I mean? Let's face it, you could have got you could have got two of those same sandwiches at your local pub
Mhm.
for what you paid for it at the airport.
So Gatorade, this was $3.99, so $4.
Yeah.
Had I gotten, what was the other thing I looked at that was $5.99? I said, "You want how much for that?" I was like, "Gatorade it is." Water. Oh my goodness. So I do carry
Although
my.
that is the one thing I will buy at the airport. I will buy a good sized bottle of water, and my goal is by the end of the day, because I don't drink water that much, to finish that, because
Right.
flying dehydrates you.
Yeah.
And
I always
drink
carry
that
my water bottle. And
Yeah.
a lot of airports will now have the filtered water that you can go up and
Yeah.
just fill it up. So I will do that. The other thing that I carry with me, which is my coffee mug.
Mhm.
So if I'm going to a conference, I will carry this. I don't remember if I think this is 12 ounces.
Yeah.
12
I
ounces.
only drink small amounts of coffee in shots, so I'll get a shot of espresso. But yeah.
So the reason for this is I go to a conference, they give you those little cups
Mm-hmm.
and then I have to get up again. So that way, one, it keeps my coffee warm,
Mm-hmm.
and I could get 12 ounces of coffee, and then I could take it with me and not have to worry about spilling. And the other thing is, if I'm by the pool, this will also keep my drink cold. So if I could put ice in here. My Gatorade, usually it's fine. Gatorade you can drink, but
well, I won't drink. I used to drink Gatorade, but that's when you said the Gatorade, I talked about the water. But I buy the bottle of water. You know why? Because if I buy the bottle of water, I'll be like, I paid $5 for this thing. I'm gonna drink it. As opposed to if I got it out of the fountain, I'd be like, 3 hours, I'm good, and I dump it out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I won't waste it because I paid $5 for that bottle of water.
Mm-hmm.
So now I'll drink the whole darn thing, which is what my body needs. And if you fly a lot, I don't fly as much anymore, but when I flew a lot, that was the biggest thing I used to do is dehydrate. And I started buying a bottle in the morning and making myself drink it. I used to try to get it drunk before I got off the plane.
Okay.
Yeah, it did make me have to go to the bathroom usually when I got off the plane, but it kept me hydrated. And I learned that trick. All right. And the dumbest things in the world, because I paid $5 for it, I'm going to finish this.
So, right. Yeah. Sometimes that's all we need. That's the motivation is that if I spent the money, I'm going to put the effort into it. This tastes really good. It's non-GMO corn, and they're looking at it as an experience. They're using the Rocky Mountain water to get that ultra smooth finish, and just have it just nice and smooth. It's not harsh. It's very pleasurable.
Can we talk about it? We want to talk about the waters that's neat, the best waters to make alcohol. Go ahead, but we're gonna come back to that.
Okay, so they are using Dry Hills. It's the same farm known as Drudge Farm, and they're family-owned farm and started their own operations known as London Hills Farm, and over 13 years ago. So they have potatoes and thousands of mixed cereal grains, and so Dry Hills Distillery wanted to be genuinely unique and special through their spirits, and that's who makes the Vegas Baby vodka here. So it is pretty good. It is about $27, and it's starting to go mainstream, but I can't get it in Oregon. So, but you can buy it online. But I think there are also specific states that they will not ship to, like most liquors, that there's only specific states. But I actually like this. This is pretty good.
Well, let's go back to that.
Water.
Water, because it's very important. Most people don't realize the quality of water makes the quality of the alcohol.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely. Breckenridge is one that they are all about their water. That's what makes that spirit so delicious. And then we had this conversation that there's certain areas that their spirits are their liquors are okay, but it's because of the water.
Yeah.
Oregon, we're in the Pacific Northwest. A lot of rain, a lot of good water out here. So or not out here, I'm in Vegas right now, but in the Pacific Northwest.
But no, I was going to say, Oregon. I don't know as much about Washington, but I know Oregon because I did a lot of places in Oregon when I was up there, that they've got good water flowing, right? Even into your Northern California, where you've got good quality water flowing off the mountains.
Yeah, Coca-Cola, Swire Coca-Cola, that's in Wilsonville. They utilize the water from the Willamette River.
Yeah.
And there's a new area that they're putting some pipes through that they're going to be drawing water from the Willamette to transport to their cities or their towns, suburbs. And they're paying for all the piping and everything to go through. But the Willamette River, and there's always things that people worry about, but it is good quality water that we have. And it's coming down from the mountains that, you got all the snow, that there's snow year round, and the melting, and hence why sometimes the waters are frigid. But we got some really good water in the Pacific Northwest. There's certain areas that just have good water in Oregon, most definitely. And Washington, they're very particular. They do not put fluoride in their water.
Okay.
So you're drinking the water, using the water, there is no fluoride added. They're like, and they keep putting it on the bill, and it keeps getting nope. So kids in Washington have to get fluoride additives in other ways. So it's some of the things that is quite interesting based on where you live and what is in your water. And as much as people say there's no taste of water or there's no flavor,
the flavors, and it's not necessarily the flavor, it's the richness of its resources that it comes from. Some of the other places that I've found around the country that makes good water, the Rocky Mountains, another one. All right, your Rocky Mountains have got really, really good water. There's one that really I've never had good water from there as drinking it out of the brook, but Hot Springs, Arkansas, the Hot Springs water.
Wow.
Take that home, chill it, make your coffee out of it. I mean, it is good water, right? Some of that Hot Springs water is good stuff, right? Your Appalachian Mountains, Tennessee, right? Your Adirondack Mountains in New York, another great water source. Most people would poo-poo off thinking New York City. No. Adirondack Mountains, totally different area in New York, and it has really good, rich, clean water. Yeah, I've drank it out of the brooks up there. Yeah.
Yeah, it was growing up in LA. I would drink right out of the water of the hose. Just drinking water out of the hose.
Well, most of us did in the 70s and 80s, and I know you're not that young, kid.
And but living in Texas, I couldn't drink out of the faucet. No. So,
if you don't drink water through a filter in Texas, you're pretty dumb.
So sorry, Texas, you're not one of the ones that has the really
Texas is not. It's just it's not known for your. I mean, and we get a lot of. I want to say the best water company that we get is local is Ozarka, which is your mountain water out of Arkansas.
Right.
Ozark Mountains. So, but generally, it's a water flow coming off the mountains.
That makes a huge difference. Where's the water coming from and flowing through, and how is it cared for? It makes a huge difference of what your water is going to taste like.
Yeah.
So, and then if you have good water, you're going to have good spirits. You're going to have good flavor and everything. But if you don't have good water, then you have to go through the process of filtering and doing the things. Well, that alters things when you're filtering or putting additives or flavors.
It does, because we're making a bottled product with spirits. We're making a bottled product. However, if you will notice, if you go into Starbucks almost anywhere in the world, the water tastes the water, all right, as well as your coffee tastes the same. Why? Because water uses they use the filtration system.
4-time filtration.
Yeah, the same filtration system any Starbucks in the world. All right. And I've been there to see the system. I've worked for them. The system they have in the back room to run that water, all right, is not like it's not like a little sit on the counter pot type system. It's an intense water filtration system. Yeah. And that's why their coffee, because they've learned, and I'm not here to brag about Starbucks coffee, but they've learned the quality of the water that makes it is the quality of the product that comes out. Thus being said, why we bring up the water in the spirit we're drinking. And when you travel, it's interesting. We talked about different places we've traveled to. Because, you think wine. I think wine, I want to go to Napa, right? We were in Tennessee one time, driving through Tennessee, and we seen a roadside wine tasting.
Oh, let's go check it out.
So let's, Gwen, I love my dear wife, all right? Gwen, let's go taste wine. Let's go to a wine tasting on the road, right? And to which we're in this little rinky-dink, what looks like an old garage on the side of Interstate 40, and we're in there tasting it, and the guy's telling us about, the wine. And like, my first question is, so how much of these grapes are grown here?
None.
About 5%.
Okay.
I could be wrong, Tennessee people. It was like a very low percentage of the grapes had to be grown in Tennessee to be Tennessee wine. And I'm like, that's not Tennessee wine. Like, I go to Napa. They aren't asking, Texas for their grapes.
Right.
They're making it Napa wine, right?
Well, anyway. I went to a wine tasting way back when I was in Texas. And most of the wineries they turned a lot of their stuff into spritzers and mixers and all this thing. And one of my friends who's a wine snob, and she's the one that got me into wine tasting, that would go to Sonoma and Napa and knew very much about wines. She's all, if they're having to put it into a spritzer and a mixer, that means that it can't hold on its own. So she's all, this cannot be good. We bought nothing. It was
no,
but it was fun. I mean, the event was still an experience. I got to do it. It was hot, and the spritzers were just fine. But that's the only way we drank it was because
the Texans, mostly Texans wine palate. They're sweet. These guys are most Texas people who drink wine.
Yeah.
Texas wine, it's a sweet wine. It's a spritzer. It's got a bubbly to it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a, now there's getting more and more. Like, we're part of Messina Hoff's club, and Messina Hoff has got more and more. I think I have quite a few cabs out there that are Messina Hoff. They have one called Sweet Justice that I love. It's not sweet. It's in between. And that's why I like it.
Yeah, because it's not overly sweet, but you can have it for after dinner, maybe with dessert, or that is dessert.
Oh, no. Their port is dessert. Like 3-course meal dessert.
Oh.
It is that good a port.
Wow. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Which is one thing Texans are good making, port.
Right. One thing to know, y'all, in case you didn't know, if you do have a cocktail or a beer, wine, whatever it is, while you're flying, it will go to your head a lot quicker than if you were on the ground. So that altitude will hit you a little bit sooner than you anticipated.
No, I remember the pandemic when you couldn't drink on the plane.
I know.
So the night that I had to fly to LA, that when I was moving Craig to Texas, no alcohol served on the plane. You had to wear a mask on the plane, and I'm like, oh God, no, I can't stand to wear a mask. So the first thing I did was, all right, I bought this big bag of snacks to snack on the plane, and I went to the bar, and I think I had 5 drinks before I got onto the plane.
This has to last me the whole plane ride home.
So, hey, Adina. All right, one of my good website clients. Hey, Adina, it is good to know. Landon in Dallas. Are you in for a while, honey, or are you just changing planes here? All right. She's in the mastermind with us as well. So, but no, I drank so much that night because I knew when I got to LA, I was happing in an Uber, and Craig's house was an hour from LAX. So I'm like, I'm good. I'm not driving tonight. I can, but I never admitted this before the pandemic. and I traveled a lot, and I kind of hit a lot. I didn't tell people this, but I've always had I just can't stand to fly. I was huge nervousness on flying. It
Yeah,
freaks
my
me
brother.
out.
My
Huh?
brother will not fly.
No, it's not, I can do it, but
Oh yeah, no, my brother won't. He gets anxiety and panic attack. I mean, just really bad. Um, so he did make it to Hawaii.
yeah.
He was drugged up, with pharmaceuticals. I was like, oh yeah, he took blah blah blah, and I'm like, what the heck is that? And it's like, oh, it's the date rape drug. I was like, you gave what to my brother? But he was like, that was the only way he flew. Otherwise, he would not have gone to Hawaii. No way. He does not fly. He hates going over bridges. So
Yeah.
everywhere they go, it's either driving or the train. If they can't drive or take the train, they're not going to go.
I see. I would love to go to that, going back to the train, but a lot of the trips that I don't travel as much to conferences as I used to, but a lot of trips is like I've got this short time frame to get there. That's where flying come in.
Right.
But I couldn't. I can get on a plane, but I really kind of get myself a little tipsy to get on the plane.
Okay.
Truthfully, here's the truth: when I'm sitting in my seat, the people are sitting next to me, I can make it. That's up until that point, I am stressed as hell.
Wow.
When I get on the plane, I've got my stuff packed up and I'm sitting in my seat. Now I'm sitting there doing, and nobody knows it, but I'm doing deep breaths, calming myself. Now I'm okay.
Yeah.
Right?
It's fine. It's fine.
It's fine. It's fine. Yeah. But up until that point,
You're like,
being in an airport, you can't tell it because I'll hide it. And there's people who's flown with me to not know it. My wife knows it. Gwen knows it. But like, you know what I mean? I'm this close, all right, to flipping out, right? And I'm worried that one of these days I'm going to, and I'm going to be permanently on the no-fly list.
oh wow.
Which might do me a favor. I don't know.
Oh, yeah. It's flying. Like today, I was doing fine, and all of a sudden, I get a little bit of motion sickness.
Yeah.
And I was like going, oh, that's what I don't like, is that motion sickness.
Yeah.
The very first time I flew, I was 14 years old, and I was like, my tummy was just so churned, and I was going from LA to San Francisco, and I was not feeling it. Yeah.
Robert is checking in from up there in Canada. Hey, Robert, good to see you tonight. But yeah, it's just when we travel, it's like, and now I truthfully would rather drive, right? Or take the train. That's a new thing is I want to investigate is taking trains. And just, it's sometimes it's, you got to take an extra day to get there. All right. Things like that.
Or that is part of the adventure, is that the being on the train and seeing what you're seeing. And so.
You need to have a used to be a drinker podcast. Yeah, I know Adina doesn't drink, but yeah, Adina, we actually do a couple shows a year for people like you who don't drink. By the way.
Yeah, and other times, even during we will say, hey, here's this.
Here's a non-alcoholic version of it. Yeah.
Here's the non-alcoholic version. I think I did that last week or the week before on how to do something non-alcoholic. Because we have some followers that do not drink.
Actually, we have, believe it or not, for a drinking podcast, we have more followers who are not drinkers than people would know. And I know who they are because they've told me personally.
Yeah.
I don't advertise it because I know, because a lot of them have told me personally they have alcohol. They have a problem with alcohol, but they watch our show because we're not a drunk podcast. We're a conversation around drinks podcast.
And sharing information, and sometimes, I mean, this is not a recipe, but we're still giving you ideas of what to take when you fly. So Adina, you know what? Thank you for supporting us, but and we will share information that you'll go, oh, I did not know that. I did a presentation once on how to go wine tasting, how to feel comfortable going wine tasting if you've never gone wine tasting before. And there was a non-drinker in the audience that later on told me that she took the information I gave to share with somebody else. And they were like, oh my goodness, how do you know this? You're not a drinker. It's like, well, just because I'm not a drinker doesn't know I don't know the information.
Doesn't mean I don't listen to people who with knowledge. Yeah.
And so she was able to have an intelligent conversation with somebody else. And then she told me this like months later, and I was like, oh, Thank you. So that's kind of cool. Having information, there's nothing wrong with that. And we will share how to sometimes do things without alcohol,
Yeah.
Because sometimes it's, hey, this would be really good. Keep the alcohol out, that way the kiddos can have some. And then you add your shot
Add your alcohol
into it. And now you have a cocktail, and then you can separate it and not have to worry about, guarding the punch bowl of whatever it is that you made.
But we're junk food junkies. Okay, I've got Reese's Pieces.
There you go.
Because M&Ms don't make sense.
I do like M&Ms. I don't do a whole lot of sweets, and when I travel, if I am taking sweets, it's going to be red vines. Red vines are my go-to.
We're a Twizzler family.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, that's from a TV show.
I don't like traveling with chocolate because of the temperature. I don't want it to melt. And that whole temperature thing, again, I throw my snacks in with my backpack, which my laptop is in there. And even though, yes, it's going to go into a Ziploc baggie, sometimes if I, for whatever reason, don't close it or don't do the, to help protect, if it oozes out, it's going to be all over, and I don't need that. So yeah. I don't, as much as I like M&Ms, I usually don't buy chocolate.
I don't either. And I'm really going to put these back in my refrigerator because they're warm now. I like keeping them in my refrigerator. And I actually have other chocolate in the refrigerator. I always have.
Kit Kats in the fridge are pretty good. But yeah, red vines or like sour gummies and sours, like sour gummies. Those are things that I do like because they're not really sweet. And I will use the red vine sometimes to drink, because it can be a straw.
It is the greatest straw in the world.
Yeah. So little things like that, so I will do that. But for the most part, unless it's in my trail mix, because sometimes they do throw M&Ms in the trail mix, I usually don't carry sweets with my when I'm packing my snacks. This time, literally, I picked my snacks and I saved the trail mix from the Tennessee trail mix. I didn't want to use it for my last conference that I was at Hood River. I'm like, nope, this is going to come with me to Vegas. So I will separate my pretzels, my trail mix, and then I was like, oh, I got grapes, my apples. So this is truly, when I am traveling, these are the things that I'm doing. I didn't just, we did know that we are like, well, what are we going to use or what do we eat and drink when we travel? And I just went with what I normally would do, which is what you see here. And in this case, I ended up with strawberry margarita because thank you, Wyndham Grand Desert, as the great welcome that they gave. So I happen to have it today. Otherwise, it would have been just my.
But let's talk about this when we're traveling. All right. Now I've stayed at a lot of hotels. What's the one thing you want to get off of the, off of the room service menu?
I don't do room service.
How are we friends? Oh, because we like whiskey.
I was going to say hello. No, I've never done room service. I'll look at the menu, but I've never ordered room service. But I will tell you one thing that DoubleTree did. I was traveling. I was in Sonoma, and they're like, "Oh, you have the option of this, this, and this," because for whatever reason I was VIP, and I ended up getting strawberries with whipped cream and a bottle of sparkling wine, and that was just perfect. Or I could have done beer and popcorn and candy for a movie, but I was like, well, no, strawberries, whipped cream, sparkling, that hit the spot. And they did deliver it, so it was like room service, only it really wasn't called for a room service. So yeah, I know I'm weird that way. So what do you order?
It's something we've done, and I remember in my travels one time I went for it.
I don't think we've ever done anything.
Huh?
You said, well, something we've done, and I'm like,
no, me and Gwen. I mean, yeah, me and Gwen, we do it all the time. But like, I went to an event one time that I got there the day early because I wanted to catch up on things, and I finished one of my events, got on a plane to go to somebody else's event, and I got there a day early, and I basically wanted to do all the analytics from my event. So I put everything into a briefcase. And I literally went to the next event, and I don't think I left my room. I got room service for lunch. All right. I went to the bar that night to get a drink, but for the most part, stayed in my damn room because I'm like, I'm here early to relax, catch up on paperwork. All right. And then tonight I'll be right. I'll be caught up with my work that I can go out and get ready for the event that I'm going to be part of. Yeah. And usually it's that night before the event that people pop in. All right. To you know what I mean? For the night before happy hour or something. I hear my grandson calling. So it's been, yeah.
I heard him.
Yep, he's got a long day.
So, what'd you order?
Usually, I order. I usually order like I'll try to find a good like a sandwich soup combination.
Oh yeah. Okay.
So, like if they have a good, of course, my favorite soup combination is tomato soup and grilled cheese. But like I'll look for like a BLT sandwich.
Oh yes.
A soup, right? And the BLT sandwich, because it's a very light sandwich, and then you dip that into the soup, and that's one of my favorites.
BLT is such an easy one that I'm like, you know what, you can't really mess this one up unless you have.
The other thing I like to have everywhere I go, I like to try the wings.
Okay. So. And I happen to be traveling, and I guess, folks, that's why we picked.
That's why we picked this subject today. So,
because I said it's going to be easy. I'm going to be traveling, and he thought, well, let's do what do you eat and drink while you travel? And I went, sold. I got that covered.
But next week, all right, let's do a pitch. Again, next week, ladies and gentlemen, we're bringing Alex Shaw on. All right, from Whiskey Weight Loss here in Plano, Texas. All right, Alex is a great friend of mine. He's actually planned out, and I don't even know it yet. Because he's sending to Gladys and he's sending to me the tasters, and I bet you he's doing it with numbers. If I know Alex, it's going to be with numbers, and we're going to taste, and he's going to tell us what it is, which is a good blind tasting cool idea. So I'm looking forward to this. All right, I met Alex, gosh, a couple months ago, and I told him, I said, man, we got to have you on the show. Another gentleman I'm going to try to get on. So like, we're going to try to get a couple of our bartender friends to come on and talk about some of the stuff they do. All right. Like when I go to whiskey distilleries, and I always talk to the servers, and I want to know, would you be willing to come on our podcast?
Yeah.
Right. And talk about it. And some of them say yes, and they jump in. Just recently, this last couple months, in the upcoming weeks, we're going to have my friend Noah. All right. Who's actually Noah's a bartender at night. He works for a roofing company during the day. He used to have his own business, and he's a young kid. And he's going to come on and talk about it. So, but next week we're going to have Alex on, which I'm really looking forward to that.
I know. I do the same thing. I'm constantly throwing it out there.
Yeah.
You never know. And that's kind of the fun part of it, is because we go to so many interesting places.
Yes.
And we meet interesting people, and we want to share that interest with y'all. I mean, I bring up history, I bring up information, but it is never the same as it's coming from the person that started it or that did it or is doing it, to see their passion come out.
Yeah.
That is like so exciting and so much fun for us, because if we're excited over a product, imagine them. It's like, it's their baby. Yeah. It's their biggest baby. So this is exciting to have, us do this. So we look forward to seeing you all next week. That's going to be a fun one. So I'm really looking forward to that.
So, and I've started the move for Like the Way You Drink's website, but still, ladies and gentlemen, it's still up. All right. It's a little changed. All right. We're getting ready to do a major I'm going to do a major reface of the page. All right. But the Insiders Club is still on there. Go to likethewayyouDrink.com. There is a button in the center. Let's see if I can bring it up. I'm not even going. There's like if you go halfway down, there's a blue button that says "Join the Insiders Club." It asks you for your age. All right, and we have an Insiders Club that we do private tastings with, as well as invitations to private parties, and as well as different drinks that we do. So we ought to appreciate it. Oh, look at this here, Cindy chiming in. Always a great show. Just so many tacos in Cancun. Make sure to subscribe and like the Way You Drink on YouTube. Support the show. Thank you. So good people we have in here.
I will tell you, Cindy, I'm still using the National Day for my Rotary meetings. So I say, today on National blah, blah, blah day,
Yep.
and I'll throw in another question, National Pet Day, well, who's your favorite pet? Or on National Brownie Day, what's your favorite dessert? Or something like that. So that's all your fault. I will blame you for that.
That was her all last year, all the days we did last year, so many days we did last year. And she was our influence on that. So
yep. So just remember, keep following us, subscribe on YouTube, Facebook, all the channels. We love to share information and we love to get your feedback. So we hope to continue getting your feedback, your information, so that we can bring good content to you. Yep. Because we want to know what you love, why you love it, and even if it's horrid sometimes, Kurt, that gave an idea and I tasted it and I went, nope. And he laughed and he knew that's where it was going to go, but he had to throw it out there.
Even when you have a non-drink suggestion, we may take you up on it.
Yeah, most definitely. Because sometimes it's, hey, this is delicious like this. I've actually been drinking some non-alcoholic beer, or when I find something I found, I'm going to go back to them. It's in Hood River, but it is the only non-alcoholic, it's a mixer, but it's not alcoholic. I didn't get a chance. They were closed while I was there and I had the opportunity. So I have to go back and check them out. But I'm like, this is one that I would love to have on the podcast because you can always play with it. Just like Mary's mixers, even though they were non-alcoholic, we could add our own alcohol to it or have it on its own. And we shared both ways of doing it. So yes, give us your ideas. We love it. We love y'all. Thank you for being here, and make sure you follow us and that you sign up for the Insiders Club.
Yep, and our businesses put this on every week, so give us a quick rundown about what we do and how we actually help people, and we sponsor this business. Let's start with you, Gladys.
Thank you so much, Tim. Gladys Boutwell, Insurance by Design. I help employers become employers of choice through employee benefits. Go to enrollnoworegon.com and have a conversation. One of our listeners from California did this, and we had a great conversation. I gave him ideas, and he's like, I had not thought about that. I mean, just simple things that he could do to engage his staff and show them how much he appreciated them, to get them engaged. So get on enrollnoworegon.com. Let's have a conversation, because there are 101 different ways that you can show appreciation to your staff. Gladys Boutwell, Insurance by Design. And this is my co-host.
Hey guys, I'm Tim Gillette. Simple Easy Websites, Simple Easy Marketing. All right, we actually create websites in a shall we say, a template type system that allows us to put inexpensive websites out for you. If you're starting your business, you're a medium-sized business, and you don't have a large budget for online marketing, we're a solution that can get you up and going. The two things we want to do is we want to make you look professional. We want to make you get that list started and get you making money. So if you want to find out more, go to simpleasywebsites.com, book a consultation with us, and we'll go over your website. We'll give you the best results or the best tools that you need to do now to get the results you want a year from now. You want to find out more? Again, it's simpleasywebsites.com. Other than that, we got anything else?
Shout out to tailor-made graphic t-shirts, because they made my polo shirt. I'll have my other one. I'll be wearing it on Thursday, but I got to wear this through the airport, showing everything off of my shirt. My polo. Today it looks like I'm going to go golfing, and that's okay. It was my travel outfit. So
I'm not saying it. I'm not going to say it.
Whatever, man. Whatever.
You know what I'm going to say too.
Hush. But we thank you all for being here. I appreciate you. We appreciate you. And we hope to see you next week.
Yep. We'll have a great week, guys.